G'day everyone, it's Old Hat Wombat with another Wombat Chats, and my special guest today is Furysevensix. How are you, mate? Long time no
Good
see.
mate, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad you're doing well, and thank you for popping along our chat and coming here and just telling us a little bit about ourselves. Can you just let us know who you are, where you're from, and what got you into gaming?
Oh God, so who I am? My name is, or online people know me as Furysevensix.
Yeah,
My real name is Noel.
yeah.
I've been in and around the games industry for about 15, 20 years now. I started off basically doing a bit of freelance journalism before doing tech support at PlayStation. And then after that, sort of moved around a little bit, ended up at Bethesda for a period of time there. Absolutely love my time at Bethesda. As a
Wow.
maybe a small hints behind me is my love for certain titles.
Say like
Uh,
Call of Duty, actually.
Bloody hell. Then I did some work for indie studios and some time
hmm
in government. Worked at
hmm
a company called Play On as well, so helped release a couple hundred titles there.
Nice.
And then probably about 12 months ago, I stepped away from gaming, and I'm now working in the private sector. But
Right,
yes,
right.
that's my sort of journey so far.
Yeah.
What got me into gaming though, I suppose, was actually a movie and a pub. Weirdly enough, that got me into gaming.
A movie and pub.
So
Can I guess the movie?
go for it.
Was it The Last Starfighter?
No, it was not.
Was it
But good guess.
was it The Wizard?
No, but also very good guess. I'm older
Ah!
than that, mate. If you got to remember,
Okay.
I'm a lot older than what you think. So
Yeah, I'm not The Wizard was in the 80s. And so was
early '80s movies,
it's a really what about Tron? Is it Tron?
spot on. Tron.
Yes.
It's
Oh, I'm good
so
at this
yeah.
shit.
So Tron was a movie that got me there, and
Can I
also the
buy
fact you said the
Valve?
pub,
Oh yeah, the pub, sorry.
and the pub basically every weekend my parents would go to the pub and they had a setup there of depending how you say it, Gallagher or Galaga,
Gallagher.
and I would spend hours just playing that, enjoying that. And that's what really started my journey to gaming.
Yeah, awesome, dude. That is awesome. Gallagher was such a beast of a friggin' arcade machine. I used to personally love 1942, and you're like, and
Oh
that
yeah,
button, but yeah, and you'd be like moving the analog stick, the joystick, and then there'd be this big plane above you, and then all the bullets would just come out slowly, like I'm
yeah.
gonna die, and you're like and you're like moving the joystick, you've had to rip it off the cabinet. Ah, such
I
good memories.
I still remember the first time I worked out how you get your ship captured
Yep,
and then get it back for double fire in
yep.
Gallagher or Galaga,
Oh yeah,
depends which one for
Gallagher,
you.
Gallagher.
Uh,
It's
but
our
yeah, that was
podcast.
one
We
of
say
those.
how we want it. Oh,
I
there's
will
some
say, speaking of
people.
old games though,
Yeah.
did you ever play either summer games or winter games on the Commodore 64?
Yes, I played both of them, and they were just like they were basically control wreckers, like that
Oh
thing.
yeah,
And
control
yeah,
killers. Yeah, like
wasn't there one that with a skateboard, and you had to go like that? Was that on Summer
that
Games?
was that's California games.
California Games. That's the one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that one.
another favorite.
That honestly, that would develop arthritis in your hands. That would develop arthritis in your hands. That was like honestly, I'm amazed we can still have function with our hands because the games that we grew up with, like you're in my
Oh,
era, like and obviously a fan of the Atari, which I love. I love. So, is that your favorite console, the Atari? Was it?
it's not my favorite, but it's one of the ones that has some of the best lore.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I love video games like urban legends and myth stuff like that. The whole
Yep.
Atari, burial
E.T.
site, yep,
Yeah,
and
E.T. Yeah,
Alamogordo, that
yeah,
entire thing.
yeah, yeah,
Like I love the history behind that because it's one of those things that was such an urban legend for so long
yeah,
that it became such a it never happened, it did happen, and
yeah.
then when
But
they
did
finally
yeah,
dug it up and found it all,
yeah.
was incredible. I remember watching that live stream. It was
Yeah.
so incredible.
Wasn't the angry video gamer nerd who was involved in that or somebody? I know some people filmed it and then they dug up the big site and there's like all
Um,
these cartridges were in there.
Cartridges,
Yeah.
yep.
Didn't the
It was
game only
like
take
it
like
was ET.
3 months or 3 weeks to make?
Oh, it
It
was a
was a
super
matter
quick
of
game to produce
yeah.
because,
Yeah.
yeah, because the guy who actually made the game hadn't even seen the movie. He was basically given
Mm,
a time frame to get it out before Christmas,
yeah.
if I remember this correctly. So, if
Yeah, that's what
anybody
the one
online
at
sees this and
Christmas
I'm
or
wrong,
yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it went out at Christmas and got it on shelves, and there was mass returns, and they was sitting in
Mm,
warehouses along with Centipede and a bunch of other titles as well.
yeah.
And this was sort of that catalyst for the great video game crash of like I want to say '83, I think it
83, I
was
believe big game
'83 or
crash.
'4.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah,
a good year. It would have been a good time to be a gamer then, because like all those consoles were getting sold and games. And I remember having an Atari, and I bought a secondhand Atari. Like my mum got me one, like for my like a ninth or 10th birthday, and I lost my mind. There was like all these games there, and I couldn't stop playing with the old analog TV and stuff, and the
Yeah,
dialing and all that. Remember you trying to get the
yeah,
picture?
yeah.
um,
I still got a bunch of
uh,
consoles like that, and that's why I've
oh,
got a couple CRT TVs lying
yeah,
around.
yeah, they're getting expensive too, the CRTVs, aren't they? So
Insanely.
it's crazy, and they're like, if you see one outside, like someone might dump one outside. I wish I still had mine. Like I had an NEC TV. It was like this big thing, and it weighed like a metric ton. It was huge. It was massive. But anyway, I'll get back to. So you did say that you
Sorry.
mentioned. Oh, no, it's okay. I got sidetracked because I love talking to you. You mentioned that you was involved with Bethesda. How did you get that job? If you don't mind me asking.
So, so fun enough, back this would have been in 20, I'll say 2016, 2017
Yeah.
ish. So the company I was working for, I was about to be made redundant. I knew it was coming.
Mhm.
I had been doing stuff for PlayStation for a couple of years in their support
Yeah.
center. So
Yep.
I'd gone from doing tech support to being
Mhm.
their community manager and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I loved that role. It's fantastic fun. I got to do some
Yeah.
really cool shit.
Yeah.
And then Bethesda advertised a role for a community manager. And I
Mm.
thought, you know what? No, I'm going to give this a go. And I did it, went for
Mhm.
interviews, everything like that.
Yeah.
I got made redundant. I hadn't gotten the job at Bethesda, but I was, trying other jobs, things like
Yeah.
that. And then I got a call from my manager, who was a lovely guy named Paul Helmrich.
Yep.
But he called me up and he knew how keen I was for the job.
Yeah.
And he's going, hey, hey mate, how you doing? And it was like a real somber tone. I'm like, oh, I didn't get it. I
Yeah.
absolutely didn't get it.
Yeah.
And lucky for me, he's a bit of a smart ass, but an absolute
Yeah.
legend as well. And I've gone, oh, look, yeah, no worries. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. He's like, no, 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 you got the job. I'm like, what? And
Yeah.
remember being in a Westfield car park and I'm
Yeah.
jumping around like a lunatic,
Yeah.
just jumping and screaming. I was so excited. I
That's
love that job.
awesome. That's
Yeah, no, I
great.
love that job. It was great. Also, one of the best offices in Sydney. It used to be based over in Manly, right near the beach. And that was a
Oh,
phenomenal office. Oh, God, it
yeah.
was so good.
That's really awesome to be, because like I would love to be so like in that field. I mean, I love streaming and stuff, I like gaming and stuff. I like to be in that field, to be involved with directly to people who are making games would be absolutely awesome. So, when you was in that position, like, what was the benefits of that position, or what did you see? Like, was you able to see behind the scenes of like upcoming games that were coming out, and you got to see all that sort of stuff? So that must have been really exciting.
It was phenomenal and a bit of an eye opener because I'd also been doing at that point some freelance game journalism as well.
Hmm.
But when I started, they had to give that up, which I was happy to do because obviously I was working at Bethesda. I didn't
Mm,
want that conflict of interest, and plus I
yeah,
was super passionate about Fallout and Skyrim and
yeah,
things like that. So while being there, I got to have a good look behind the curtain, got a far better understanding of how the games industry works,
yeah,
how like the perceptions of what the industry is versus what the reality of what it is.
yep.
Um, people think like a classic example is like people just you can just flick a button to fix the servers.
No, it
No,
doesn't work
it's not
that
that
way.
simple. I wish it was that simple, and I'm sure the
No,
game
yeah,
developers wish it was that simple, but it's not that easy.
yeah,
But it's one of those things where understanding the end-to-end process of how a game comes to life, the
mm,
life cycle of everything, the decisions have to be made,
mm,
the incredible tough decisions sometimes have to go through it all,
yeah,
but also getting to properly experience the passion of the community
mm,
from the other side of the fence. So I
mm,
love games. I love the games community.
mm,
But being the other side of the fence and being that person who's the advocate for it all,
mm,
and it's part of that reason why, in my mind, I look at Tron as a bit of a example for what community managers should be, where they fight for the users. So
mm.
the community manager is basically the person who's that sort of conduit between the
The
community
conduit,
and the
yeah, yeah,
studio.
yeah,
And I got to be that person, and it was absolutely phenomenal. Like I got to
yeah,
see and do some incredible things while I was there. I loved it. It's, yeah,
yeah,
such an eye-opening experience.
yeah. That's amazing. That's really amazing. So, you did say, you mentioned that you worked with some indie game titles. Were they based in Australia, or were they all like overseas indie scene or the Australian scene?
A couple here in Australia, a couple overseas.
Oh, nice.
So I did some work for one based in Victoria called Modern Storyteller.
Oh, nice.
Released a game called The Forgotten City. Nick, who was the studio lead, main designer, like
Hmm.
the brains behind the whole thing.
Mm.
He basically started off by making a mod for Skyrim,
Yep.
which he then decided to make into a full game. And the game itself is just absolutely breathtaking. I haven't checked it out. Definitely worth checking out.
I will.
But it's one of those things where I think it came out. I'm pretty sure it was consoles and PC, so Steam,
Yep.
PS4, Xbox One, or maybe Xbox Series X and PS5. Can't remember exactly what platforms.
Yep.
But studying games even won, I think, pretty sure it won a BAFTA award as well.
All right. I
And
need to check that
then,
out.
yeah, definitely worth checking out. It's a
Yeah.
quick game. There's 4 different endings.
Mm.
Beautiful historic game.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And then during my time at PlayOn, I got to work on stuff like Bears in Space,
Mm-hmm.
and a few other titles as well. But yeah, no, it's really cool.
Yep.
I think
So
indies are definitely have a very sorry.
no, you're right, man. I like so with the indie scene and the Bethesda scene, so obviously they were polar opposites of each other. Like, what did you feel that with being with Bethesda and then working on the scene, did you feel like they had that same passion for games, or was it like a mega corporate thing? Was kind of a bit little more different compared to the more indie scene, or if you catch my drift, or because like there's this
I get what you're saying.
misconception. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like there's kind of like a misconception, like you said before. Like the average game goes, they're just worried about the dollars. They don't care about us. You know what I mean? Like I mean, they in a way, of course, they want to make money and they make profit. Because if you think about it, like obviously, how much? Well, what's the budget of like of let's just say Fallout 76. Like I know Fallout 76 when it came out was not like not many people liked it, but obviously they've done a lot of patches and redones. But like that's a big game. Like it would have cost like millions and millions of dollars compared to something that's made by 3 people. So there's a lot riding on it. So because they want to make it a popular, vastly popular game. But is there any was there any disappointments there that you saw like it working as a community manager where you thought, oh, I wish I could have done this or stayed on and did that or behind the scenes, like you
I
can share with us, or was it all pretty much pretty easy going stuff? It was really good.
look, there's in any role there's going to
Mm.
be disappointments.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
there are certain activations and ideas that I really want to do at Bethesda, but either
Mm,
they, quite fairly, either they didn't align, or the budget wasn't there for it, or
mm,
it just wasn't the right fit at the time. But
yep.
it's always a sort of thing where you put those ideas behind you, and yeah, you'd work on the next cool thing.
Mm,
Like I got to do some insanely cool stuff at Bethesda.
yep.
You mentioned Fallout 76. I was very fortunate enough to be flown to West Virginia to the Greenbrier Hotel, which features in the game,
Yep.
for a preview event of the launch of the game,
Yep.
where it was just phenomenal to go to an actual location that's
Yeah. In the game.
immortalized in the game. But plus the place, it's a presidential hotel. We get to check out the nuclear bunker below the place as well.
Wow, that's cool.
Check out the grounds. It was
Wow.
phenomenal to sort of stuff. And plus on a local level, doing launches for the games like Doom,
Mm.
Prey, Dishonored.
Oh, Doom's so
When we're
amazing.
doing stuff, oh, you might see the skateboard deck right there. It's a,
Oh,
it's
I
a,
love
it's a
it.
one of 3 ever made
I'm
skateboard decks made
oh
locally by
mate.
Apparition
I own the
Media.
other two. I stole them.
But like,
Where do you live,
but that
mate?
sort of stuff is really cool. That sort of stuff is
Oh,
really cool to do.
it is,
But there's
yeah.
also the community, like the passion. Like we
Yeah.
talked about before
Yeah.
about people who work in the companies. And
Mm.
yes, like there's obviously going to be a financial driver there because it's
Mm.
like any business. They're there to make money. If they don't make money, they can't make the next cool thing, or they can't
Yeah,
invest in
exactly, yeah.
upgrades or updates or
Yeah.
expansions or stuff like that. So there
Yeah.
is obviously a financial
Yeah.
driver there.
Yeah.
But to be honest, when you work in games, it's one of those things where, yeah, sometimes the hours are long and
Mm.
there's last minute stuff you got to do and things like that.
Yeah.
But you're working with passionate people. You work with people
Yeah.
who love what they do. They love the industry. They love games.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely a combined passion. And
Yeah.
behind the scenes, yeah, people may not really see that a lot or may not assume it's not there.
Yeah.
But whether you're indie, AAA, or anywhere in between,
Mm.
you're doing it because, yes, there's a financial goal, but the reality is you wouldn't have started that passion or started that project if you weren't passionate about it as well. So there's
Yeah.
always going to be a passion there for it.
Yeah. Well, as you may know, like we see a lot online and social media, a lot of people complaining about, they just think about the dollars. They don't care about the. So do you think there's a lot of obviously like clickbaiting with like streamers and content creators out there who are trying to stir the pot up a lot, and look and because like as a streamer myself, like I'm streaming, I'm always getting people coming asking questions. Oh, this game's terrible. Why are you playing it? And like, don't you see how much the corporate's taking this money out and they're paying this? And like, obviously, we've seen a lot of companies slash a lot of people's jobs. Unfortunately, it's the way it is. But like, the corporate works its way down. Unfortunately, um, Are you a bit worried about the gaming industry at the moment? With Xbox doing so many huge cuts and a lot of game companies now rem uh, firing a lot of people from and also closing a lot of game dev companies, especially some really beloved ones, like some really beloved ones were shut down
Mhm.
recently, and also ones that made really good games that were actually shut down, making really decent titles, and you think, okay, well, why were they shut down? Well, you got rid of all this. You have a real pool of really creative people making extremely great games, or and then they still shut them down. Do you think people should be concerned on what's going with the gaming industry as of today, or do you think maybe, yeah,
I think the game industry going for a bit of a genesis. Like you might remember back when the global financial crisis hit,
mm,
there was something very similar happening in games where there was a bit of
mm,
a I suppose I won't say a purging, but there was definitely a bit of a downsizing across the
mm,
industry back
mm,
then. During that period, where saw a lot of people being sort of like laid off or
yeah,
restructured or whatever.
yeah,
I have I have hope for the future of the games industry. I
mm,
feel like we're going to see a bit more of a pivot towards like now towards game preservation as
mm,
well as game releases. So
mm,
people like one of my biggest things I've always been very passionate about is gaming is everybody and gaming is an art form.
mm-hmm,
Gaming needs to be preserved, and that's not just the games itself, it's all the supporting material. It's like the marketing stuff they put out, the
mm-hmm,
sales information, those
mm,
billboards and the out of home stuff you see.
mm, yeah,
That's all part of that game's history and
yeah,
that needs to be preserved as well. And there's now many people around the globe who are working towards that sort of thing
mm-hmm,
to help preserve the games, the
mm,
physical media, the digital media, and that supporting marketing advertised material as well, because it all
mm,
forms part of that game's history. So I reckon we'll see a pivot towards more game preservation potentially.
mm,
But as for the future of gaming now, like yeah, there have been a lot of cuts. I've had friends lose their roles in companies as
yeah,
well through restructuring or layoffs. And you
yeah.
mentioned some of the studios, like the one which I can't remember right now, I feel quite bad, who did like Hi-Fi Rush is a good
Yeah, that's
example.
the one, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah,
There's so many.
I'm always hopeful because I believe games
Mm,
truly is an art form and gaming is everybody. So I'm hopeful for the future of gaming.
mm,
And I don't know what's going to come next, but whatever it is, I hope it's for the betterment of gamers.
yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with that. That's a really good one. You as you said, you worked with some indies, with some Australian indie dev teams here. Do you think that each year that the indie scene in Australia is getting bigger and bigger, or is it still in between? Do you think maybe also the government could really push our creativity in the gaming industry? I feel that the Australian government should do more funding for indie dev teams out there who are making games. I mean, look at that Hollow Knight game that recently came
Oh
out.
no, yeah, yeah.
It's done by a South Australian team, and now the government's now pushing. Was it like they're giving grants of like 100? Is it 100,000 to help something like that? They're giving 70,000 or something like that to help people out with games over there in South Australia.
I can't remember exactly how much the grant is for that sort of
Yeah,
stuff, but I
but
do remember seeing
it's a
they do
step in the
that.
right direction. But I still think that they, because like you know, like you grew up in the same era as me, like the 80s and 90s, where Australian music and movies were very prevalent. Like, you know, you had like your Mad Max, you had big Australian bands like In Excess. And they were becoming global sensations as well because they were getting that push. But then the government sort of like didn't really fund our music and didn't really fund our movies as much as anymore. But they have a they have an opportunity of I don't know. I feel like our government's like 20 years behind everyone else lately with all this stuff. But I feel that maybe they can do the right thing and push the indie scene, or not just the indie scene. I'm not too sure. I'm not very familiar with the Australian scene of gaming. I mean, I went to PAX once. I don't know shit, but I all I know is like there's some really creative people out there who are doing some amazing work, and I would just love to see them get that extra money and the extra people to help them to create some really amazing stuff.
I think the indie scene in Australia is definitely growing. It's one of those
Yeah,
things where I think it's quite an underrated resource. Where
yeah,
like you look at like you mentioned like the Australian films industry back in the 80s, where
yeah.
anything and everything like Australian films like I think it was like Roadhouse films or something like that, where it was not
Mhm.
Roadhouse, Roadshow.
Mm.
Um, nearly every film you watch have like a Roadshow logo
Yeah,
or something like that.
Roadshow, yeah, yeah.
It
Because
showed all
all
those
that
sort
was
of films.
they were being filmed over, in, Queensland.
Yep.
Yeah,
And even
Retro
like
Studios, yeah.
things like Mad Max stuff that was filmed in my hometown, Broken Hill,
Yep.
like Priscilla,
Mhm.
Race the Sun, things like that were all filmed
Mhm.
out there.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I was like, it's very prevalent, and I think like there is currently a lot of different funding
Mm.
available for indie,
Mm.
but they've
Mm.
got to fight for it because there are more and more indie devs, either they're solos or teams or
Mm.
studios. They've all got to fight for that same funding, and there's
Yeah.
only a finite amount of funding available every year for
Yeah.
that sort of thing as well. I think it's like Screen Australia might be doing. I'm pretty sure Screen Australia does
I know
funding for
Screen
games and
Australia,
everything as
yeah.
well.
Screen Australia
Yep.
does, like other
Um,
stuff, yeah.
yeah, but there's also resources out there like IGEA, of course, who try and support gaming and not just AAA, but they try and support everything they possibly can because they're there for
Mm.
the betterment of the games industry and gamers as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like a lot of resources out there. I would love to see more support for indie studios. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I'd love to see a large multinational company come to Australia, do maybe a little bit of philanthropic work, either doing some sort of incubator fund where they can seed
Mm.
that cash out to them with no expectation of, we're going to take X amount of your profits,
Mm.
or find that another thing I'd love to see, which who knows if it ever happens, would have some of the sort of industry veterans
Mm.
come together to do a bit of a, maybe it's funded through wherever,
Mm.
but make their own sort of indie publishing house to support Australian indie devs, taking that wealth of knowledge that's out there
Yeah,
to be
that'd
able
be
to support
amazing.
these people. Act like I've seen, I think Pete Hines in the US after his retirement from
Mm.
Bethesda, they've been doing a bunch of stuff to go around and talk to different sort of like
Yeah.
places to help people out to try and really share his knowledge and help get these people going. And that's what I think this sort of industry needs right now as well, is that sort of knowledge. Like we need new people coming up and like young, hungry, talented people coming in the industry, not the same people saying they're everyone,
Yeah.
but the older generation to share that information, that knowledge
Yeah.
to
A combination
those
of
who need it.
both, yeah. Because
Exactly.
I feel that, like, when we mentioned about the movies and the music scene, um, they are hungry, but they're not getting anywhere here, and then they move to the US and overseas in Europe, and then they end up being big, and we think, "Oh, yeah, they're Australian." Yeah, but they should have brought, like, if you think about it, homegrown, like Colin Minogue and all that sort of stuff. As just an example of they started here, like they became popular here, and then we expanded it. I think it needs to be done here too. Like, I just feel like the government is just not really pushing in the right direction. But hopefully things change. Like you said, old meets new, and there's some really amazing young people out there who are creating some amazing stuff. Like like you can't fathom what they're bringing. Because like when I went to PAX 2 years ago to see you. That's great. I just saw some amazing stuff there. Like, well, there was this guy working on one game, like Laura Croft meets vampires, like,
Mhm.
and he was working on this game for like 4 years, and he's by himself, and he was just showing this
Yep.
game off, and I was like, this man. And I said, mate, you need to make this now. I want to play this, and
Well,
it's amazing what they're bringing out there. It's just such amazing stuff.
no, 100%. Like PAX every year, the indie area seems to grow
Yeah,
bigger and better, and the
yeah,
quality gets better and better and better
yeah.
every year. Sorry about that. And it's one of those things where I look at some of the games that are
Mm,
there, and like I will always try and make time for indie area every single year.
mm,
Like there's companies like I can't remember the name, but there's a game I played this year. I think it was called Doggy Don't Care,
mm-hmm,
and it was just by a single one guy is
mm,
making this game all by himself. I think it's
yeah,
Rotub Games or Roton Games, something like that.
yeah,
And the premise basically you've got a dog
yeah,
that runs around doing tasks, but he's destroying the house and being a little
yeah,
jerk, and
yeah,
things he doesn't care. And it's such a simple
yeah,
idea, but a beautifully executed thing, and it's
yeah.
so much bloody fun to play.
Yeah,
That's the thing is like, yeah, give me that good fun
yep,
game to play, a game I can
exactly.
play for 5 minutes or 5 hours, sort of thing.
Yeah,
It's and the quality of work that's in that area as well. Like I look back at like the first one I had in PAX was probably the second or third PAX that had the indie area here in
mhm,
Australia.
mhm,
I don't know if it was the first one or not, but each year it's just gotten bigger and better.
yep,
And there's now more games to play
mm,
in the indie area than there is
mm,
probably throughout the rest of PAX, unless you go down to the tabletop area, of course,
yeah,
and there's tons of games down there.
yeah,
But from a video game point of view, the indie area is,
mm.
yeah, pretty much
It's
where
pretty
it's
full
at these
on,
days.
especially, yeah.
Yeah.
So what game are you currently playing that you can't stop playing right now?
Well, there's a couple at the moment, so I'm
Yeah,
playing a bunch of Fallout 76 still because I love Fallout 76.
nice. It is.
I'm also
Yeah,
going to go
it's a
back to
good
start.
game.
It's evolved so much. So I was a community manager when that game launched in Australia,
Yeah,
or actually when it launched globally. And seeing where it was then to where it is now, it's just a phenomenal evolution.
yeah.
That game is so freaking
Are
good.
you playing on
So
PC or console?
play on Xbox at the moment.
Oh, nice. I'm on
Um,
Xbox.
nice. Um, so you're playing that, playing a lot of Forza Horizon because I do the Forza Horizon
Oh,
series as
nice,
well.
nice,
And I've just been playing a bit of Astro Bot on my PS5.
nice. I haven't
And
got
the other
Astro
night,
Bot. I haven't played that. Is that really
oh,
good?
so good.
Yeah,
So much fun to play. Like,
yeah.
I think the demo might still be on the store. Grab it if you
I might
once
check
it
it
gets
out.
really
But
quite good.
I'm so glued to Battlefield 6 right now. I cannot stop playing Battlefield 6. It's just
I tried
like
jumping for a
I
I
can't.
tried jumping there. Was it Red Sack or was it Red
Yeah,
Bloody
Red Sec. Yeah, yeah. The
yeah, Red
name for
Sack?
the name for the BR sounds like you got a rash on your balls. Like, oh man, I got that Red Sec again. Can you give me that cream? It's really a terrible name. It's such a terrible name
Oh,
for a BR. But other than that, it's great.
I've been trying to get into it. Every time I try and jump on, I'm not going to get a game so far. So maybe
Really?
tonight will be the night. Yeah,
Oh,
I've been
oh, mate.
struggling.
Well,
Maybe tonight will be the night. We'll see.
add me on EA account. I would have Wombat394, and we'll squad up. I've got to squad up with you, bro. That'll be heaps fun. We'll get the
I
sweats
did
on.
afterwards. Yeah. And we'll actually, and I've also because getting a little bit nostalgic this week as well
Mhm.
because the PS1 turns 35 this week.
Wow, 35? No
Yeah,
way.
I'm pretty sure it's 35 this week or 30
Was it
this
was
week.
it
Maybe it's 30.
1995 that it came out?
There's something like that. Hang on, let me have a quick look.
PS1. Oh,
Where is
I
it?
miss my PS1. I don't have a PS1 anymore. I used to have one.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
got a couple lying around. We'll have a chat later, and I'll see what I can
Oh,
might
don't
be
be
able to
silly. No,
do for you.
I had one with a little screen. And,
Oh, the little PS1, the actual little
oh,
PS1
yeah,
one.
I used to love that thing because, like, I'd go to my room and then just hook it up there and play, like, Resident Evil or Dino Crisis or Crash Bandicoot Racing. Yeah, such
30th
nostalgia.
anniversary. Sorry, not 35. 30th anniversary.
30th
They're
anniversary.
doing a thing here in
Yeah.
They're doing a thing in Sydney this weekend, Saturday the 15th, to
Wow.
celebrate for the 30th anniversary of PlayStation in Australia. So
I still
that should be
remember when
kind of
that
cool.
PS1 came out, right? Because I had a friend in school who was a major nerd. Like, he was a nice guy, but, like, he seemed to have, like, all the consoles. He had the Neo Geo CD when it came out.
Oh,
Oh, that was such a really good thing to play. And then he said, "Oh, I just got a PS1." I said, "You fucking what?" And he goes, "I got the PS1." I was like, and because I was like, "How do you what is your parents drug dealers or something? How can you afford that?" That thing was like astronomical at the time. And I was like, "Oh man, I need to play this." And so I went to his house and I think we played, oh geez, I think it was the original Resident Evil. Was that what it launched?
nice. Yeah.
And the Crash Bandicoot, the
Yeah.
original Crash Bandicoot, and I think original Resident Evil was out, and it was something else like Gex or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
all weekend just played it, and like eyes like this. Oh, but yeah, it was such a great console. But the PS2 is my favorite
I
console of our time.
yeah. Really, I wouldn't have guessed. I would never have guessed that based on
Really?
your
Well, it's
username.
just
Yeah, let's get that way. I will say, speaking of like PlayStation and sort of what I'm playing at the moment as well. I busted out my PS1 the other day,
yeah,
and I busted out one of the first ever games I ever played on the PS1 was a game called Descent. It was basically like a
Descent.
3D.
Yeah.
Basically, you're going through like mines and stuff like basically like a
Mhm.
sort of not quite on rails, but like you were exploring caverns as a shooter sort of
Yep.
thing, but a
Yep.
spaceship shooter.
Yep.
Busted that out, but also played a bit of Space Hog, one of the other original
I
games I used to
remember
love because I
Space
love
Hog. Yep.
Warhammer
Yep. Yep.
40K. Yeah. A little bit of course Laura Croft, and of
Yeah.
course one of my OG driving games, the original Gran Turismo
Gran Turismo was so good.
back
Yeah,
in the day.
that was
God,
so good.
that
Oh, so good,
was
Gran Turismo.
such a very good game.
Yeah, and you know it was one of my because I don't know I liked racing games on the PS1 and PS2. Colin McRae Rally on the PS1 was like one of my
Oh,
favorites too. Remember when you used to do the driving tests? You had to avoid the witches' hats,
yeah,
and then you have like right crest jump, jump crest
yeah.
crest, and you like listen to that. I listened to that in my
But
sleep.
talk about driving tests. Do you ever play Driver? on the
Yeah,
PS1.
yeah, driver, and you had the little indicator blinker, and you just like
Yeah,
and the roads were so
trying to do
intricate.
missions.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Driver 1
Oh,
and 2 was so good. Was so good. Sorry, my headphones being a bit
so good.
loose here.
It's that's right.
Oh,
So good. It's
yeah,
also
good.
it's so bloody challenging as well. Like that initial
Mhm.
car park basement stuff you
Yeah.
had to do just to get out of that first level.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, it was such a nightmare, but I remember everyone I think that's the thing too, like, because we was growing up in that era, there wasn't really much internet, like, the internet was like
mm,
just being born. So, you just had, like, the magazines, like PlayStation magazine, Nintendo magazine, so you'd go and then you see these pictures and this graphic art, and you go, "Wow, this game looks freaking out
yeah,
awesome!" And you're like and then you play the demo and, "Oh, it's trash, but I still love
yeah.
it," you know?
Mhm.
But I miss that.
I used to love music. Same. I used to love the old demo disc and going back to the
Yeah.
Commodore 64 era.
Yeah.
I used to get some that came with like cassettes on the cover.
Yes. 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 I
To
remember
play
them.
play demos on that. I think the
Mhm.
first time I played Boulder Dash
Yeah,
was a
Boulder Dash
demo
was
on
God, that was
the
such an old
UK
game.
Commodore
Yep.
magazine. But I have a question for you, actually. Made me think of a question for you,
Oh,
actually, if
okay.
you don't
I'm
mind me.
scared. Yeah,
Let's
go
start
for it,
with it.
yeah.
No, nothing bad. Back in the day,
8
I used to go to
inches.
my local, like
I'm joking.
Jesus, that's a small screen, man.
Oh.
Uh,
Alright.
no, I used to go to the local video shops.
Yep.
We at Broken Hill, we had a Blockbuster, Video Ease, and a couple of random ones as well, Civic and
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yep.
I used to always hire a Sega Master System.
Yep.
Did you have a console you used to go out and hire from your local video shop as a kid?
Yes, like, we had a mum and pop video store in my town, and I've been in the same town for, like, 30 years. And they used to like hire videos and then they finally decided to hire video games. And so I didn't
Nice.
have it. They had a Super Nintendo, and then the old guy, he was like they're old people, like, yeah, we got one of those fandangled things that you kids are ragging on about. Yeah, it's over there. If you and it was like I think it was like $30 for the weekend, which was like $6 million today.
Oh,
And
yeah, a
yeah,
lot of money back
it
then.
was a lot of money back then, but so we'd go all 3, like, we didn't have a Super Nintendo at the time, so sometimes, "Oh, we gotta get it." So we hired it for the weekend, and then we argued who which house is gonna be. "Oh, well, Andrew's got the bigger TV, so we should stay at his place." "But that means we can't play it when we wanna play it." And so we took it in turns, like, so, but we'd hire it for the weekend, and we'll go and stay over the weekend at our friend's place, and then we get a bunch of games, and I remember one game we were ragging on about, "Oh, let's get Shaq Fu, this is gonna be really good." And but actually, we did like Judge Dredd. Judge Dredd was really good on the Super Nintendo,
Yep.
and I think we played Earthworm Jim, and there was this other game that was on the Super Nintendo, and it was like from a top end view. But I'm trying to remember. It was really hard, but apparently it's really expensive to get, and you had to like shoot, and you choose different characters. I'm just trying to remember the name.
Oh,
Oh, it was
Space Harrier.
No, you can see your characters and you're just walking through different, environments and you would shoot people, you'd have to loot stuff, and you could be different characters with different abilities. But it was like an RPG shooter, but like on Super Nintendo. It was
Oh,
apparently God, it's so hard, but, like, there was, like, different characters and they had, like, really weird abilities and, attributes and stuff like that. But it was such a good game, but I think it's really hard to get now.
I'm just trying to think. I think I know what it
Is
is.
it
I can picture the
It's
cover, but I can't.
it's got, like, some
Chrono
people that
Trigger?
that could be it. I
Chrono
could
Trigger?
maybe, I don't know. It's really eating at me
Chrono
now.
Cross? No,
It's really
I
eating at
can't
me
remember
now.
what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
really eating at me now. But I know there's, like, a bunch of characters and, like, someone had, like, a monocle or something
Oh,
maybe, and,
God.
yeah, and I remember, my friend's grandmother, she would play with us, and she was like a passive aggressive smoker, like this, and she would be playing it, and, like, there was just you go in there and there's, like, smoke come into the room like that, and you just, like, hit you like a wall, but you wanna play that Super Nintendo, so you wanna risk lung cancer to play the
Yeah.
Super Nintendo.
I do remember actually when we got a
Yeah.
Super Nintendo, we got it one Christmas,
Yep.
and I talked to my dad into at the time, I told my dad, said,
Yeah.
"Dad, we should probably get out and test it now before Christmas. If it doesn't work, we're not gonna return it till, like,
Yeah.
after Boxing Day."
Yeah.
And my dad's like and I was this is God, how old was then? I was, like, in my very early teens.
Mhm.
And he's like, "No, it's a really good point. Yeah, we should probably make sure it works first." So I managed to get my Christmas present and my brother's Christmas present out
Mm.
before Christmas
Yeah.
to play and test this damn thing, and then had to put it back in the box, wrapped up under the
Yeah.
tree, wouldn't let
Yeah.
touch it again till after Christmas,
Yep.
till Christmas.
and
all
act
good and fine. I
surprised,
got to
"Oh,
play
you
it
got me a
first.
Super Nintendo. Oh, I did not
Mm,
expect
yeah.
this."
Oh, shock
Oh,
horror.
shock. What was the
But
games that you got
but I
on
will
what was the games that you got? Do you
so
remember?
we got the Super Nintendo World Pack. So it
Okay.
came with Super Nintendo World, so it had, like,
Mhm.
Super Nintendo World and then, like, I think it was, like, 1, 2, and the secret levels in there as well.
Mhm.
But I've still got that and the original box in my sort of games room at the moment.
Yeah.
But I will say Super Nintendo was actually the first console
Mm.
to introduce me to RTS games, funnily enough,
Real-time
of
strategy?
all things.
Nice. And so
Yeah,
did you get
a
hooked
game
on
called I
them?
think I did for a while, yeah,
Mm.
like Metal Marine was the name of that game, and it
Mhm.
got like that led me into playing like things like Dawn of War on PC,
Mhm.
which I love the Dawn of War series.
Yep.
And then like obviously I made that natural progression to StarCraft after that.
Yeah, StarCraft was heaps fun. I actually enjoyed
Oh,
StarCraft. That was such a
same.
good game.
What faction did you play?
I can't remember. It's been a while. The dudes with the big helmets.
Yeah, so you
Uh,
played the human basically,
I played the
the
humans.
Terrans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was them because they sounded cool
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
And the like, little screen, you see them talking to you. And you're like, yeah, I'll go there. But I used to play that in the early 2000s as well. Like when I got a
Yeah.
gaming PC, I tried that for a while. It's like it just didn't feel right to me. I'm more of a console person. But
I much prefer console, but yeah, I will play PC. But I've realized for me, if I'm going to play like an MMORPG or an RTS, I want to
mm,
play on PC.
yep,
Everything else I'll have to play on console.
yep,
But yeah, that's sort of where I sit on that
yeah.
one.
So what makes it think? Is it that a childlike thing coming back? Like you're sitting in front of the TV, you're chilling, relaxing, everything's in
Um,
4K. Is it just like that nostalgic vibe to you with console gaming?
kind of like
Yeah.
I'll often play like play my Xbox example. I play it at
Mm,
my PC setup because I've got it wired to one of my monitors. So I'll play here and have the screen here. If I'm going to be
mhm,
streaming anything, it's all in the
mm,
one setup ready to go.
yeah.
If I'm feeling nostalgic, I've got a couple of small TVs, but I've also got an old Batman CRT TV, which you might have
Wow.
seen on my Instagram, which works
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yep.
So I'll hook up to that and I'll be playing this tiny, tiny, tiny little blade TV.
Mm,
But it is that old school CRT vibes when I plug in like an original
mm,
NES or a SNES or
yeah.
a 3DO or something like that and play
Mm,
on there. It's
yeah.
just magic. It's just different.
It
Like it's
just
not
takes you back, doesn't it?
100%.
Yeah. Is that why you think that's why we're getting so many goddamn remakes? Because the gaming industry just knows, we're hitting with nostalgia. That'll that'll mess with them.
I'd love to say no, but I do feel
Mm,
like there's
mm,
definitely
mm,
like the people who played those games and the people at the right age
mm,
to make those decisions in those companies go,
mm,
you know what I really
mm.
loved? I loved my Atari 2600, but there's no way I can play it again now unless,
Yeah,
and yeah, that's where those sort of things come
yeah,
from.
yeah.
But I'm going to be very curious to see in years to come if we're going to like, because you look at things like the PS3 and the 360 are now retro consoles.
I know they're 20
So
years.
yeah,
Pretty much,
20
yeah.
years of multiple generations old.
Yeah.
So it's like,
That's crazy,
that
isn't
blew my
it?
mind. Yeah.
It blew my mind, and
And
I love my 360 and my PS3. Like, there's so many good
same.
games on there. Yeah.
That to me was like a golden era for gaming. That
It
was
was
so
such a great era for gaming, like, yeah, it was like you had, like, the multiplayer was starting to become real more of a more prevalent thing,
yeah.
and there was, I don't know, I think and also I think back then too, there was some more risk taking with the games that were coming out because, like, I feel that now, I don't know if you agree or not, I feel that in the big AAA side, we seem to be getting a lot of remakes and reboots, and there's no real. I don't know. It's not the word I want to use. Like, there's no real. Let's create a new IP and see where it goes.
I feel like there's probably a lot of risk aversion to that
Yeah,
sort of stuff these
yeah,
days, especially from a larger sense,
mm,
just because like it takes like for especially for a
mm,
AAA studio, it takes a lot of money
yeah,
to create a game because you've got hundreds of thousands of man hours, huge
yeah,
teams. You got to pay for all that, pay for production, pay for all the bits and pieces around that.
mm-hmm,
So it's marketing,
mm-hmm.
advertising,
Yeah,
social,
there's a lot of money
everything like
involved.
that. It's a lot of money. Where like you look at a brand like FIFA, for example, which has a new game every year. People buy the next game every single year. They continue that thing on because they've got such a passion for it.
Mm-hmm,
It's that if it ain't broke, don't fix it mentality. But that is also
mm,
where you look at the indie side of things.
mm,
Look at like your Hollow Knights, Cult of the Lamb, stuff like that.
mm,
Those are games that have broken the mold,
mm-hmm.
but have just thrived. So
Yeah,
who knows? I think it's one of those things where as the industry changes, we'll see maybe more risk taking, maybe less risk taking. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I think it'll be interesting to see where things go from here. Um,
Yeah, it's definitely changed. Oh, also the other thing that's coming in like is AI. What about with game developers and development companies now using AI to create games? Do you think that's more of a there'll be more of a thing now in the future? I think so. It will be. I mean, obviously, like they're doing it right now. They're using AI in a lot of things, like 4K restoration of movies, with apps, social media as well. Like, what's your take on that with the AI at the moment?
I am a big fan of AI as an assistant, not as a replacement.
Yes.
So you talk about like that sort of 4K restoration work. Like, yes, I suppose that's fine, but is it also taking a job away from somebody who spent years at university learning that craft and learning how to do that sort of
Hmm.
thing? Like, I'm also very against AI scraping data and using people's work without permission, things like that.
Agreed. I agree
If
on
it
that.
does,
Yeah.
if it's doing, I suppose if it's doing the grunt work so they can free up somebody for higher priority tasks
Hmm.
or for more research, whatever.
Hmm.
Like, let's say, I don't know, people who write like the story writers for a
Yeah.
game. Let's look at say Skyrim because it's
Hmm.
the things right behind me there. The,
Didn't know
the
you was a
dialogue for
fan.
Skyrim, yeah, no, tiny little bit. Um, once started a cult. Well, once helped support a cult about that, but it's a whole different story, different
Oh
time.
wow. Okay, that's for another
Um,
podcast.
um, but like the writing in games like Skyrim, Fallout,
Hmm.
Gears of War, stuff
Hmm.
like that. Like there are people who spent their entire lives learning how to become script writers, storytellers, things
Mm.
like that.
Yeah.
If a studio just went like, "Hey, ChatGPT, write me a script for this based on this X, Y, and Z," and
Yeah.
it prints out an entire dialogue, then that's someone's job gone. And also, it may sound great, it may read eloquently, but it may also not have that same passion or soul, have
Mm.
the understand the subtle
Yeah.
nuances of human relationships or interactions or things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I believe it's one of those things where it's just like I will use AI in my work as a bit
Mm.
of a sometimes to bounce ideas off myself or
Yeah, that's what I use it for
revise
too.
copy for myself and stuff like yeah.
Yeah, I use
So
it for that.
I said my big thing is AI great assistant should not be a replacement. And definitely
Yeah.
should not be like scraping people's data without consent and stuff like that as well. I think that's the lack of consent when it comes to AI is also a big issue for me personally. I've got plenty
Mm.
of friends who are artists, those sort of stuff as well. And yeah, like
Yeah, wasn't there recently an artist or an author who had they said, "Oh, write me a book that's like this," and then they obviously used AI and put all the information of that artist's books and without their consent. And I agree with
yeah,
that. Like a replacement, yes, not a replacement, but like an assistant in helping. I agree. Um, but yeah, it's a really touchy
but
subject right now
also
because everyone's all over it right now. It's crazy. It's just everywhere.
yeah, I do think AI is a good thing in the long term because I look at like people who are in like assisted living or people
Mm,
who may suffer from dementia or things like that.
mm,
It can be one of those things where it can help
mm,
them with life and sort of general stuff and
mm,
things like that. But as I said, that's where the assistant model
yeah,
in my brain comes in rather than the replacement model.
yeah,
But yeah, who knows what the future has ahead? But like I will say, I'm that sort of person who will say when I talk to Google or anything like that, I always
mm,
say, yeah, thanks at the end or something or
mm,
please or whatever.
mm.
Just to force a habit from
Yeah,
human interaction in case
yeah,
we do go down the whole Terminator 2 timeline.
yeah. I don't know. Like it's gonna be like Hal from Space Odyssey. Open up the
Mm,
bay doors, Hal. Can I do that, Dave? I am the well, like I said, artificial intelligence, like that's what it is. It's artificial intelligence. It's not human intelligence and human. That's one thing that we have over them is like, you can come up with an idea, but there's your idea. It's not AI's idea. It doesn't matter how lame or whatever it is. It's still your idea. And I feel that's a thing because, like, I play around with AI with my TikToks and stuff like that and YouTube. Like, get some quirky captions, and then I'll put my spin on it to make sure it's not proper. Like, I'll just copy that, and so I just try to add my little spiel on it as well. So, but yeah, it's a scary place right now, like with this all this stuff coming out. It's just I feel that we're evolving too fast. Like all the stuff that's coming out is just like crazy right now, and I just don't feel like I feel like we're like a step or two behind the stuff that we're creating. Is if that makes a sense. Like I just feel like like it's like when 3D printers came out, and we thought, oh, well, this is a great thing. This is going to revolutionize things. And the next thing you know, people were making 3D guns. It's like
Yeah,
like if you have something that's so creative, it's like people will come up with the worst idea with it as well. And
it
same
is
thing
that
with
sort of thing where
yeah, and that's the thing with AI too. Like, it's a great tool, but it can also be a tool that's not so great if it's put in the wrong hands. So I don't know. It's just kind of
yeah,
crazy. Now, you mentioned that you was in Broken Hill. You was born and raised in Broken Hill. So I've
correct.
been to Broken Hill about 8 years ago. Mad
I'm
Max
sorry for
territory.
that.
No, honestly, I tell you what, I did have a weird experience there. There's some weird chaps there, but I didn't take you as a Broken Hill boy. But I thought some Children of the Corn moments in there. It was like, but obviously, like we was talking about before, like movies being made in Broken Hill, like Mad Max, Razorback, a personal favorite of mine.
Yep,
I love
yep.
Razorback. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. It's basically Aussie Jaws, but with a wild boar. It's a great movie. You need to check it out.
It's funny,
Hmm.
if I didn't talk that movie if I talk to anybody about that movie, it's
Hmm.
basically it's Jaws on land or it's Outback
Yeah,
Jaws.
yeah. Outback
Same
Jaws.
way I describe it, 'cause it
Yeah,
basically is
yeah.
that, but, like,
It is, yeah.
I will say I feel it's, in my mind, probably a bit more gorier than Jaws
Oh,
because you see
definitely,
a lot
yeah.
more
Yeah, it's
because
R-rated, it's really trippy. It's a and it's not a terrible movie, like, it's a thriller, got a good
no.
story, good acting, and it's by the person who made Highlander, Russell Mulcahy, who did a
Mhm.
lot of music videos back in the '80s. He did, like, In Excess, all this stuff, and honestly, Razorback is gold. It's really good. I love Razorback.
I
Um,
will say, going out to where they filmed that as a kid and broke it, well, say a kid as a teenager and a
yeah,
license,
yeah.
um, was interesting, especially going out there at night because it's like, oh, this is cool for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, I've seen enough horror movies. We can know that again now. Bye.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy. Like Broken Hill, like, 'cause I went onto the town where they filmed, and was that is that pub? What's the pub called?
Silverton pub,
The
Silverton.
Silverton pub. Yes, went there, and they had the wall with all these photographs of like Mel Gibson at the bar, dressed up
Yep,
like Mad Max, having a smoke with the Mohawk dude, and then we went to the Mad Max
yep.
museum and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked because I'm a terrible podcaster. Now you said you was born and raised in Broken Hill, so. Uh, how long did you live in Broken Hill before you decided to go to the big smoke and make it big with Bethesda and all that sort of stuff? Like,
Wasn't quite that quick, but I lived in Broken Hill for the first 20 years of my life.
yeah.
Then went to Queensland for a little bit.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Then came down to Sydney for, well, it was going to be a mate's wedding. I was one of his groomsmen at his wedding.
Yep.
Meant
Yep.
to be down here for 2 weeks, and I've been
Yeah.
here for like
Yep.
nearly 30 years now. So I'm turning
Wow.
50 next year. So,
You're nearly 50. I thought you were still in your mid 40s, mate.
oh, bless you. No,
Yeah.
I'm turning
Wow.
50 next year, mate. So,
Well,
yes,
welcome to
getting
the
on.
50s club. I'm 51 now. I'll be 52. So I'm 2 years older than you. Now you
Oh,
said,
God.
I know it feels like just yesterday we saw each other. We're in our 40s.
No, no.
Now you also said to me, when you was in Broken Hill, you visited my town of Peterborough, right? So
Sure did.
how did that turn out? Like, how did you come through here? Like, what's involved there, if you don't mind me asking?
So, basically, for people who don't know, Broken Hill is the most western town in New South Wales and the biggest.
Yeah,
It's a tiny, well, tiny town, but also huge for mining, because where
yeah,
BHP started and things like that.
yep,
The two closest major towns was Mildura in Victoria, which is about 3.5 hours away, or
mhm,
3 hours away, and then Adelaide was the next biggest town. So going South Australia, so going your way, was
mhm,
about 5.5 hours away,
mhm,
and we spent a lot of time in Adelaide. And when we used
mm,
to drive through, we'd every now and again take a little detour and go explore. So we might go through up through like Port Augusta or
mhm,
that sort of way and come down through I'll go check out Whyalla or something like
mhm,
that. And so we went through Peterborough a couple of times. And yeah, it was honestly a very, from memory, it was a very small town, like you blink and you
mm.
miss it kind of town.
It's a very small
But I remember,
town. Yep.
yeah,
You,
yeah, we went
I was
through
probably walking
Broken
down the
Hill.
street when you was driving past you, mate.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
Let's play some Atari.
Some Galaga at the pub.
Yes, yeah. Some Darrow from Broken Hill wants to ransack me Atari. That's awesome, isn't it? What if you think about it, it's kind of a small world, like how because I when I was in Melbourne and I was saying where I was from, people were like looking at me like, "Are you from another planet?" Like they couldn't comprehend a town that had like 1,200 people, like living out in
What's
the
the thing?
sticks.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've lived in a few places, but yeah, mainly
Mm,
like, yeah, Broken Hill up in Queensland, then back
mm,
down in Sydney,
mm.
Central Coast.
Yep,
But yeah, spent a lot of time in Adelaide as a kid. We used
yep.
to go to Magic Mountain in Adelaide
Oh, I miss
heaps.
Magic Mountain.
Uh,
Such a great place.
oh,
Good memories there.
I actually found one of the tokens for that the other day when I was going
Oh,
through one of my old,
really? Yeah,
yeah,
I
boxes.
actually
Found that.
we had well, look, there was a thing called Downtown, like in Hindley Street, where it was like an arcade place, and that had tons of arcade machines, and you'd go there. Yeah, check it up, look it up. You'll love it. You'll love it.
I've probably been there
You've
from
probably been
remember
there.
going to a couple of games in Broken Hill.
I remember going to school
Sorry,
camp, and
Adelaide.
it was our last school camp, and I was about 13. So back in 1987, I went to Adelaide for school camp, and we went to Magic Mountain, and then we went to
Oh,
downtown. And honestly, and I think Magic Mountain had like a train above you. It was driving around like
no, no,
that.
it
Was it a train or a
wasn't a
tram?
train.
And was it?
There was sky bikes. There were the bikes that pedal around, so you go up
Oh,
in this
yeah, yeah, that's it.
little
I
like
was think
monorail sort
yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
I was in downtown that actually had a train too, I think. I think it had I'm kinda remember if you were old enough to know about downtown, please let us know. Was there a
Or
train
Magic
in
Mountain.
or Magic Mountain? Let us know 'cause, and I remember the shoot thing where you had to shoot targets in Magic Mountain,
Yep,
and then we're in those, bikes in the water, you know, the
yep,
boats you're
yep.
bumping
Little pedal
bumper
bikes
boats, yeah, the bumper boats
and
and the
and
dodgem
the RC
cars.
boats
Oh, yeah.
and the RC boats in the middle as well.
Yep, yep,
And
that
they
was so
what was it?
cool, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And,
Gosh.
did a kid drown?
I
I
remember
remember
hearing that, but I always thought it was an urban
I
legend,
don't
but
yeah, I
never
don't know
found
if a
out for
kid
real.
drowned. Oh, yeah, you hear all these urban legends, and but then we played tons of video games, and there was, like, a motorbike one, you're like, this is so cool, I
Yep.
feel like I'm on an actual motorbike." And, yeah, we just lost our sensory we had, like, sensory overload, it was just nuts. But downtown was just arcade machines, and I remember going in there, and it had this massive rear projection TV on the side, and it was the introduction of Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 just come out,
Ooh.
and there was a queue of kids, like a massive queue of children there, all playing Street Fighter. And I looked at this game and was like, I need to play that game now. And so I waited in the queue with my tokens, and my teacher said, and I was just about to get online, and my teacher said, "We're about to go now, kids." And I begged. I said, "Please let me play this game, just like one round." And she's like, "Oh, we better, please." I've waited so long, and she let me go. And then I was like, "I'm hooked on Street." Now I love Street Fighter. And yeah, but that was such a highlight. And then played Dragon's Lair.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
that
yeah.
one? Yeah, and I didn't know what the hell I was
Yep.
doing. He's like, "What are you doing?" And died. But
No,
yes, such great games.
'cause no one knew what they were doing with Dragon's Lair
No,
back in the day,
wouldn't have a
but
clue, but it looked so cinematic, and you felt like
it
it
looks
was like
so
this.
good.
But yeah, that's what's really cool about those games. I like there was so many different variety of games that we had back then.
Well,
Just a plethora of games.
in Broken Hill, we had a arcade place called the Fun Factory,
Sounds good.
just before we had a Zone 3 open up.
Mhm,
But you talk about line for Street Fighter.
mhm,
For us, there
mhm.
was a line for Ninja Turtles. Like,
Oh,
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game.
yep,
At the
remember that. That
time,
was
it
such
was
a
a
great game.
dollar. It was the first game in Broken Hill, it was like a dollar a pop. It went
Yeah,
from, like, rather than 40 cents,
mhm,
it was the first one was a dollar a game,
yep.
and, oh my god,
It was
like, too
such
much
a
money pumping that damn thing.
yep.
But I do
Yeah.
remember when,
Oh, there's such great.
NBA Jam came out,
Yep,
people loved it for that.
yep,
Mortal Kombat, especially, actually, Mortal
yep.
Kombat.
Mm.
So many people were lined to play the game because of the, like,
The
it was
blood
so
and
visceral
gore.
and the gore
Yeah,
and
so real.
everything.
Yeah, we thought it was,
And
like,
people
realistic. We thought games couldn't get any better than this. It was so crazy. Oh,
Oh
man,
god.
good memories back then. So you mentioned, like so obviously you like I said, we're around the same age group, living up in that arcade scene. Do you think, I mean, obviously arcades are still around, but do you feel that it's more of a nostalgia vibe for, like, the older generation who, "Hey, let's go to this place"? I mean, do you think younger people, would be more into that sort of scene themselves? Do you think younger people, if there was, like, a comeback of arcade machines and arcade game places, would you think they'd take that, or there's everything's on the phone or at home sort of scenery now?
Ye
Yeah.
Yes and no, because like,
Yeah.
I go to some, like when I go to Fortress example, Fortress is a mix of some arcade games,
Yep.
but a lot of them are like the prize machines or
Mhm.
the rhythm machines, or
Mhm.
they've got like the
Mm.
oversized like Flappy Bird stuff like that.
Yep. Yep.
But then when I go to PAX and they have the retro gaming area,
Mhm.
the classic console area,
Yeah. Yeah.
that is
I love that.
always packed, and I always
Mm.
love seeing the parents in there with their kids, the younger
Yeah.
generations, playing,
Yep.
like River Raid or
Mhm.
stuff like that, stuff they wouldn't have the slightest clue what the hell it is, but they go,
Mhm.
"This is so cool." When one time when I was over in Washington DC, I went to not DC, I was in Seattle. Sorry,
Mhm.
got to check out the Seattle Pinball Museum,
Wow, that
and
would
when
have
I
been
was
pretty cool.
there was it was incredible. But there were ages from like 8 to 80 in there,
Yeah.
all playing away on like
Mhm.
pinball machines are over 100 years old, up to the
Mm.
latest ones at the time.
Wow.
It was so good. I do think there's definitely a how can I put it? I will always, if I go somewhere and I see there's an old school arcade machine,
Mhm.
I will beeline for that sucker. But that is a
Mm.
nostalgia thing for me. I love arcade machines.
Me too. I would
I
love to
do
get a couple. I'd
think,
love to get a couple in here on my little
oh,
mini man cave.
same. I don't have the room, but I'd love one.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'd love a dozen to be honest. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I do
Yeah.
think that the younger generation will get into it, or some are getting into it now,
Mm.
because I'm seeing more and more people taking interest in retro gaming.
Yeah.
But who knows if they'll survive that long or be around that long. I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of the three-quarter size ones you can buy, which have
Mm.
um, the theme one, like I think I saw there was a Street Fighter
Yeah.
one a little while back, and maybe a Pac-Man one, stuff
Yeah, I've
like
seen
that.
something like that too, the similar ones, and there's like the
Yeah.
ones, like I saw a guy, he had like one of those kiosk things, and he had like all these games and
Yep.
stuff, and you can, and like had that MAME 32 emulator and stuff like that. And also with emulators, are you a fan of emulation or
Yes and no.
yeah?
Um, so bit of a. I'll try and not make this a political answer
No, that's
or
okay.
industry answer, but I I love physical media. I'm a big fan of it.
Mhm.
I love being able to grab a game, put it in and play.
Mhm.
However, from a games preservation point of view, emulators 100% have a place, because
Mhm.
sometimes the hardware is unplayable,
Mhm.
unusable, things like that.
Mhm.
And to keep that sort of that software alive, or keep that data alive, it needs to be emulated so it can still be
Yeah.
played, enjoyed, and learned from or experienced.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think emulators are good in a sense, but I'm also very anti-piracy and stuff like that as well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
It's a
yeah. So once
it's a
again, it's a
catch,
yes
but
or
a
no
catch,
answer.
yeah, kind of a catch 22 in it, really. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I'm the same. Like I'm funny with people say, "Oh, you should play this game with mods." Like I don't like to play. I'm old fashioned. I like to play how the developer wanted the game to be played. Does that make sense? Like, like Skyrim for example. I mean, there's so many mods on that game, and Fallout. There's so many mods and ways to play it. But like, I don't know. I just kind of like to play it the way it was meant to play. So I mean, call me old fashioned. That's just how I am.
Look, I have no issue with people doing mods for games, stuff like that.
Hmm.
Yes, I prefer to play the vanilla version of stuff like that, but
Yep.
I've installed the odd mod for Skyrim and Fallout on my
Yep. Yep.
PC,
Yep.
just to muck around.
Yep.
But I'm not going to play the full game with the mods,
Hmm.
because sometimes it can make it very cheaty or very easy to achieve stuff, and it takes that
Yeah.
sort of effort out of the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have mucked around, especially in Fallout, with some of the mods where you can like,
Mm.
I installed one which basically gave me unlimited mini nukes. And every time I fired one,
Mhm.
it said John Cena, and then when it landed, it actually made that sort of
Dun,
explosion and played the
dun,
music.
dun,
Yeah,
dun.
pretty much. Yeah. So I just rapid
Just for
fired,
like shits and
I
giggles.
saw a
Yeah,
video.
yeah,
Exactly. I saw a
yeah.
guy do a video where he just launched like 100 years, like
To
Cena,
John Cena.
and then just and then they all landed and have just crashed the game. And I went, "This
Yeah.
is stupid as hell. I have to try
I
it."
have to try it.
And so I did, and I gave it a go, and I
Yeah,
fired like 5 or 10.
yeah,
I was just giggling away to myself like an
yeah,
idiot. But yeah,
yeah.
I couldn't play it
Got
too
it.
long.
Got it out of your
Uh,
system. Got it out of your system.
exactly right.
Yeah,
Gave it a go.
you got to get out of your system. So okay, well, the mods and stuff like that, I understand. So what is I noticed you got a lot of collectible things at the back there. What is your most prized possession? Like something that you got and you're just like it's like your holy grail, like something you got in your collection that is like your most prized possession, and absolutely can't you wouldn't.
The problem. I've
Yeah.
got a few things like that, but
Mhm.
there's a couple things I can't talk about because
Mhm.
these are things that, yeah, I just can't talk about
Oh,
that are
okay.
in my collection. But the ones that I can talk about,
The 5'9"
so
sex
actually,
doll, that's okay. It looks like me? Oh, shit, now I'm worried.
I do actually have a 2-meter tall statue of a Helgen
Mhm.
from Killzone
Yep.
that is right there, just off the screen there.
Yeah.
His name is Roy, given
Yeah.
to me by PlayStation back in the day when I used to work with them.
Oh, nice.
Um, I've carried him around everywhere. He's phenomenal, but scares the living Christ out of anybody who comes over because he's right near the door.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so Roy's one of those cool items.
I
But
love
Grail
Killzone.
items, I've
Yep.
got this. Oh, same.
Yep.
I actually found I posted actually something I was going to send you a photo of. I forgot
Yep.
to. I
Yep.
found when Killzone 3 came out,
Yep.
and so I was still working at the PlayStation tech support team. I managed to meet the dev team,
Mhm. Oh,
and I've
wow,
got a
nice.
Killzone poster signed by the entire dev team.
Wow, that's so cool.
So yeah, I've got
Yeah.
like this thing. I've got so
Honestly,
many cool.
I wish PlayStation would bring back Killzone and Resistance Fallen Man because, like, I love those series. Like, I think they were phenomenal. Like, really good games. It's a shame. And what we got the PS5 and they're just not really. Don't get
I
me wrong. I think they're bringing really good single player experiences, but they really need to bring out something multiplayer. And they're sitting on some IPs like SOCOM, Killzone.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Even do you ever play Hardware Online Arena back in the day?
no, can't remember. No, I'm not too sure.
It was almost a precursor to Twisted Metal, where basically you're playing in military vehicles
Mm-hmm.
in a giant online space,
Mhm,
but you play as like a fast vehicle or a tank
mhm.
or whatever
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
And yeah, it was just absolutely phenomenal. So that was
yeah,
my first
yeah. I
thing
don't
like
think
that. But
yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah, that
yeah, like,
sounds
they're definitely
awesome.
like
Yeah.
yeah, the SOCOMs, the
Mhm.
Resistance Ball Man. I love that series. That was such a good series.
Yeah,
I actually got some cool little goodies from when that game launched. So I got to meet the
nice.
devs. Ted, bloody head of friggin' head of Naughty Dog. Who did it? What's his name? Ted. Oh, I can't remember his name right now. He came to Australia, got him to sign a bunch of stuff. Absolutely legendary dude, super nice.
Yep.
Yeah, back to the Grail thing. So I've got a couple of things, but I'll give you my top three, but no particular order. So I have a behind me on the shelf,
Mhm,
like just there. You'll see there's a sweet roll.
mhm,
So that's actually from the Church of the Holy Sweet Roll,
mhm.
a cult I kind of helped start back at PAX one year,
Yeah.
and the reason why that one's so precious to me is because not like it started from giving away sweet rolls at PAX,
Mhm,
and it ended up becoming like a big thing on the
mhm,
third day of PAX, like this whole religious experience. Like
mm.
on the third day, a new cult was born, and I ended up getting them into like going from a simple, silly thing at PAX
Yep,
to coming from a cult to a church,
yep.
getting their own penny arcade pin, to actually now being part of Elder Scrolls lore,
Wow.
because they're actually in Elder Scrolls Online. So that's
Oh,
actually the Church of Scroll is now part of Elder Scrolls
that's
lore.
absolutely
So
awesome.
all the stuff behind me, I love it because of that.
Yep.
I also have a Star Wars 360 console, which is
Ooh,
pretty common,
yep.
but I got to meet the one and only Carrie Fisher and got her to
Oh,
sign it.
oh,
And
really?
she was phenomenal to me. Like she was
Oh,
this would have been before the New Generation movies came out. She was at
oh.
Supernova Sydney. No one was lining up for it. I never really got that. But I paid my $80 to get an autograph, got down there, handed the console.
She was
I
my
asked her how
crush.
she
Yeah.
oh no, she was phenomenal.
She was such a
And she signed the console. I got a photo of her signing it, so I had
Mhm,
proof that she signed it.
mhm.
And while she was signing that, someone yelled out some sort of Star Trek.
Mhm,
Well, I
mhm.
like Star Trek and Star Wars, very, very clear
Yeah,
on that.
yeah,
But someone yelled out a Star Trek joke at
yeah,
her,
yeah.
and seriously, sharp as a whip,
She
she
is.
snapped back at him,
Yeah,
and I was like, "That was
yeah,
freaking cool."
yeah.
Got to
She
see
was
Carrie Fisher showing
amazing.
shade.
It broke my heart
Yeah,
when she passed away because, like,
same.
she was my first female crush growing up as a kid. And I got a little story for you,
Oh
right?
yeah, go there.
Alright, it's a Carrie Fisher story. I used to when I was young, living in a small mid-rural town, um, you could you could request like there was a back of some comic books that were like you could get an autograph. request autographs
Oh,
sort of thing. So I saw this thing where you can get. I don't know if it was Carrie Fisher's autograph or not. I didn't care, but I sent away a little pamphlet thing, paid for it, and I got a signed picture from Carrie Fisher because when I saw Return of the Jedi, and like every young boy who saw in that slave outfit. Okay, I don't care what you people say now. That was like it made me feel funny. I feel funny. Ugh. You know, made me feel funny. But anyway, she was like my first female crush, Carrie Fisher, and not just that. She like when people are saying, "Oh, we need more strong female role models." Like you look in the '80s, Princess Leia, Sarah Connor, and Ripley, like
yeah.
three
Oh,
iconic female characters. Like they are badasses. They don't need anyone to help them. But like honestly, like I said, she was my first official female crush as a young boy growing up, and I did get I completely forgot about it, and I got this letter, and it came in a nice envelope, and I opened up, and there's a picture of Carrie Fisher, and with my name on it to Eric, and I had that on my wall for ages, and I don't know what happened to it. I think when we moved, it got lost or someone
oh,
stole it, and it was just a little black and white Polaroid thing, and it's not, and just a picture like this, and she was just like that, real smiling like this. It was just a lovely photo. But I always heard good things about her. Like she was always really great in
yeah.
this comic. And when she passed, like I broke my heart. She was just a sweetheart. But
No, she really was.
yeah. And so what was the third one?
So the third one's actually another Xbox console.
Yep.
So with when PlayStation, sorry, when Fallout 4 launched,
Mm-hmm.
Bethesda did a series of consoles called the Pip Boxes.
Yep.
Now, I think there's 10 to 20 of these globally.
Yep.
They were a super low production.
Mm-hmm.
Each one was sort of custom made, sort of thing,
Mm-hmm.
but they were also resealed by Xbox. So they had the full warranty, the whole thing, everything like that. They were
Wow.
mainly US based,
Yep.
but there was one singular one made for Australia.
Yep.
Recently, I acquired that console.
Wow. So
So
that's
I
the
have,
Holy Grail.
so it's literally a one of one
And you got it.
in the world, and I've got it.
Okay, I need to find out
So
your
yes,
address.
you and so many other people, funnily enough.
I
Yeah,
know,
this is
I
why
know,
I
I
don't
know.
really post my
Yeah,
exact details online.
yeah, I don't blame you because like that stuff would be worth a lot of money. So I'm hoping you have all this insured.
I do, but the
Yep.
problem is with insurance these days, um, they when you have a large collection, you got to be very careful who you insure with because sometimes they will disregard certain things as being, oh well, like software is just DVDs and things like that. Like
Yeah.
sadly, many moons ago, I
Hmm.
was broken into and someone stole a large chunk of my collection, close to about $20,000 worth of games and consoles.
Oh, dude.
When I went to claim my insurance, because I told them I have these games, they've gone, "Oh no, you've got a max of 2.5 grand because that covers DVDs and software."
Wow, that sucks.
And so I had to try and
Mm,
replace a few hundred games for two
mm.
and a half grand, which I had a mate who worked at eBay at the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
So he let me literally come in like
yeah,
after hours sort of thing. I
yeah,
gave him the check from the NRMA. He's
yeah,
gone, right, let's make some magic happen.
yeah,
And we literally went through and found as many like pre-owned or
yeah,
discount
yeah,
or
yeah,
cheap ones or sale versions of these
yeah.
games that I'd lost and replaced not all of them, but
A fair
probably
bit.
50% of the
Okay.
games, yeah, like
Yeah,
missing.
yeah,
So yeah, I will say, if any folks out there, make sure you check your insurance and make sure you have some
yeah,
sort of collection as well.
yeah. So is maybe do you think now would like obviously this there's a huge business now with people collecting like games and physical media like such as yourself. Do you think that the insurance companies now have got some new policies coming up for people who are avid collectors, or is it still not really changed
Uh,
much?
hasn't changed that much. I'm actually looking at different options right now.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't looked into it yet, but I've been told Shannon's has quite good collection insurance. I'm gonna look for
Mhm.
them next.
Mhm.
Because yeah, apparently they do specialized insurance. But like
Mm.
anything, if you collect anything of high value, it is
Mhm.
going to cost you a bit to insurance as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got to be prepared for that. If you are going to start collecting, that's one of the things to keep in mind.
Yep.
That if you are going to insure, you are going to collect
Yep.
things,
Yep.
you are going to pay that sort of insurance
Yep.
premium as well.
Okay. All right. I'm going to ask you a few more questions, and then we'll have to probably wrap it up there.
Absolutely,
But anyway,
that's all right.
anyway, I've been loving this chat. I've been really enjoyed chatting with you because, like,
Right.
I'm really enjoyed chatting with you all the time. So when we, because people might not know how we met, but I got invited to PAX in 2023 to be part of a panel of older gamers, more distinct. I sure think it should be called distinguished gamers. So, but and I got to meet Noel there, and we hit it off really well. And it was such a great experience to catch up with you and stuff like that. And it was a really good chat with you, and all the other. PAX members and the committee. That was a really good night. It was a really fun time to be there, and it was really eye opening to me because I've never been to Melbourne before, and like, oh my god, I felt like 3 Adelaides all crammed into one. It was so big, I just overwhelmed me. But anyway, we met there. But like, I got a question to ask you. What advice would you have people out there who want to start collecting maybe video games or physical media out there themselves? Like, what type of easy advice would you give them, people out there who want to start collecting?
Don't. No.
Okay.
No. On a serious note, like if you have something you're passionate about,
hmm
when you first get into it, and I know it's hard because I'm somebody who tends to
hmm
hyperfixate on things as well,
Yeah.
but take a measured approach. Make a bit of a sort of raw piece up at how much you want to invest in it on a regular
hmm
basis. If it's going to be a sort of thing that's like I would love to own every PS3 game and every Xbox 360 game, things like that.
Yeah.
And I probably could do that, but I probably also wouldn't be able to afford to pay my rent or my bills or things like that.
Yeah.
So I suppose it's one of those things where I see people go quite hard and then suddenly there's struggles with life and they've invested all this money, then they've got to sell it off because they've sort of
Mm.
overcommitted to one thing or another.
Mm.
So just be cautious about it. Play it safe. See if you have something particular you want to focus on, like be it a Nintendo only. Like there's a great
Yeah.
great couple of great collectors out there, like on Instagram, like Jeff Tendo, who focuses purely on Nintendo stuff. You've got Tough Sig Collects, who just does purely Xbox stuff. They have their niches. Also, you've got One Up Emily and Retro Gamer Guy,
Yep.
who
I
do
think I know Retro
PlayStation
Gamer
stuff.
Guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all of them incredible people, but
hmm
they've all got their focus things. So if you
Mm.
pick a particular thing and want to collect that one thing, great, go for it. Look for like if you want to build a collection quickly, look at places like CEX, eBay,
hmm
Marketplace, things like that. We get deals,
hmm
but check the stuff you get. Like if you can test it as soon as you get home, plug it in, give it a run, make sure it works, especially if it's hardware,
hmm
because as you mentioned before, things like PS3s and 360s are now 20 years old.
Yeah.
PS5s and PS2s, PS1s,
Yeah.
25, 30 plus years old.
Yeah.
Like, check it when you get home. Learn a bit about the history of the consoles as well and what you're buying. So
Yep.
I looked at stuff like I picked up some rather rarish consoles and controllers by accident because people didn't know what
Mm.
they had and they didn't really sort of
Yeah.
care. Like, actually, a good example is actually a game I picked up last weekend. Funny enough, I haven't posted about it yet. But this game here, Brotherhood of Steel,
Yes, I've played that.
it's actually become quite a rare game. And I had
Mm.
it back in the day. I loaned it to a friend,
hmm
never returned it.
Yeah. What's with
Um,
those friends? And they never return the goddamn game.
but I found that at a garage sale, which I bought the
hmm
PS3 60
hmm
gig, $50. PS3 doesn't work; it's got a YLOD, but that's fine.
hmm
But that game currently retails for about 100 or so.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where you've got to keep your eye out, and also you've got to be patient as well.
Mm.
So be kind to yourself. Like you might get
hmm
frustrated, like I really want this game,
Yeah.
but I don't want to spend $200-300 to get it.
Mm.
Have some patience. It
Mm.
might come up one day in a bundle. It might be at
Mm.
a CEX. It might be somewhere. A friend might have it and give it to you. Yeah, but also let people know you are interested in retro games as well, because
Mm.
you will find your community. You'll
Oh
find your
yeah.
people, and you might
Yeah.
find that your grandmother, your cousin, your uncle, your auntie,
Yeah.
somebody's like, "Oh,
You never
I've
know.
got a
Even
couple of games
garage
up in
sales.
the."
Yeah, like garage sales. Like I found some stuff at garage sales that I did not expect. I see like there's
Mm,
porcelain stuff there, and then there was like a handful of 360 games that and there was a couple there I was like surprised that were there, and I wanted to get. So yeah, I
Can
wholeheartedly agree. Yeah.
I say one of my best garage sale finds
Mm.
was something I should not have,
Yeah.
which was, do you remember a game called Manhunt
Yes, I
on
remember
PS2?
Yes, I remember Manhunt. Yeah.
So I went to a garage sale, and at this garage sale, this lady was selling 4 sealed copies of Manhunt on PS2,
Wow.
$10 a piece. I grabbed all 4. I gave 2 to a mate of mine who automatically opened one up
Yeah.
to play and kept
Yeah.
one sealed.
Yeah.
The very next weekend,
Yeah.
so I didn't want to open them up, want to keep them factory
Yeah.
sealed.
Yep.
The very next weekend, I found an open copy at a different garage sale for
Yeah.
$5,
Yep.
but all the ones that were supposed to be pulled from shelves,
Yep.
returned to stock when eBay had them out, things like that,
Yep. Yep.
they're all those ones. So the
Yeah.
ones that should not exist, because I can't remember the name of his something Atkinson, who had the whole thing about the RA team,
Mm.
the game being rated too low,
Brutal.
and they had to
Yeah.
pull it back
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
in the day. But yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. You never know what you're going to find at garage sales. It's a bit of a grind sometimes, but
Mm.
garage sales, op shops,
Mm.
secondhand places,
Yeah.
CEXs,
Yeah.
marketplace,
Yeah.
eBay,
I've
your
been
local community
collecting. Well,
pages. You never know.
I've been collecting DVDs again because, like, I like
Same.
physical movies and stuff. So I got the box set of Rocky 1 to 6 for $2, and like they were practically new, and like. Yeah, I'm a big, like, I love the action movies, like, the Arnold, yes, and I like these movies, and
The King Chopper.
and then I got because I bought there was the Stallone collection, like Warner Brothers collection,
Yeah,
so it had Cobra, Demolition Man, The Specialist, and Assassins, and that
yeah,
was $2. She sold it to me for $2 for 4 DVDs, and I was like, wow. And I'm just thinking, like, I mean, as much as I love streaming, I just like to sometimes physically put the disc in the player and play stuff. So
mhm.
I'm trying to get back into that thing again too, and I will eventually do that with games too. I actually bought some games from CX. I bought some 360 games that, like, I
Nice,
bought The Saboteur, which is like this open
nice.
world. Yeah, a really good game, and it's like
Yep.
$90. So I also want to buy The Godfather 2 and The Godfather 1 on 360, but they're ridiculously priced at the moment, like 60, 80
Mhm.
bucks right now. So I'll wait till
Yep.
maybe it dies down. Maybe I'll keep hunting around and find it. So I'm dabbling, but I'm not like too serious about it because I know it's going to
Yeah.
chew up my bank account like crazy. And enough shit chews up my bank account as it is. So but that's some
That's the
really good
thing.
advice. That's some really good advice on that. I really appreciate that advice. Now also
Absolutely.
another question for you. Um, where do you see? Where would you like to see gaming in the next 5 years?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Mm,
I'll be honest with you,
mm,
it's from a personal standpoint,
mhm.
I'd love to see a return back to physical media,
Yeah,
but it's not really gonna happen.
no, it's a real push
So I
for it not to
suppose
be. Yeah,
from a yeah, I suppose from a realistic sense, more accessibility and more inclusivity would be good because they're already on that path already, which is great.
yeah,
Look at games like Forza, especially, and
mm,
what Xbox are doing with the adaptive controllers and PlayStation doing as well, making it
mm,
more accessible for people to game. So
yeah,
keeping that sort of thing going. Um, but also part of that inclusivity is making it more affordable as well. So making it so
yeah,
more people can enjoy gaming as a pastime. Um, I would like to see more funding from government to support gaming as an art form. So support it like they support the arts,
yeah.
which itself are also underfunded, but it's a whole different discussion.
Agreed.
Um, but yeah, but I also like I would love to see there be another golden age in gaming, like back
Mm.
during that PS3 360 era or back in the 80s when NES launched, Nintendo Entertainment System. There was a whole family entertainment device.
It was a wave, wasn't it? It was like
Yeah,
a
it comes
wave.
in sort of
Mm,
those peaks and troughs sort of thing where it's
mm.
like we now have like Gears of War is now on PlayStation. Something I never thought I'd see in my
Yeah, I
life. I'd
know.
never thought I'd see. I love that that is I love the fact that's happening. I love the fact we are getting those sort of there's less exclusives, so making
Mm,
platforms
yeah,
slightly less irrelevant. But there is, of
yeah,
course, a preference of which controller you
yeah,
prefer to handle things like
yeah,
that. I suppose the short answer is more inclusion of indies, better funding for games,
yeah.
more support for games and gamers, and more inclusivity and accessibility for games. That's what I'd love to see in the next 5 years.
Well done. I think we should just make you president of games, mate. Because, like, I agree, and wholeheartedly there. Like, especially the price of games. Like, as you may know, I'm a streamer, so I try to get all the games, and people say, and I get, like, when I'm going live on TikTok, hey, you haven't played Arc Raiders yet. When are you going to play that? It's like, well, that's $80. I don't have $80 for that game. Or are you going to get this game? And it's like, yeah, I will if I had the money. So I really got to pick and choose what I want to play. And like, and I just said to the other week, a few weeks ago, I said, like, we just had Borderlands come out, then you had Dying Light, then you had Ghost of Yodi, Battlefield 6, and then Silent Hill F. Right? That's what,
Yeah.
500 and at least
Each games,
$550.
yeah.
That's half, half of $1,000 for 5 games.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm streaming that, how many subscribers do I need to get my money back? Like, $500. It's not gonna happen. Like, I get okay, like, I mean, TikTok does okay for me, but I'm not gonna get $500 back. So, I really gotta pick and choose. And also, I wanna pick the games that I know that I'm gonna be loving. So,
Like,
but I'm kind of lucky. Like, sometimes I'll get codes and stuff. I know people as well, and I reach out to them, and I don't like asking because like sometimes I feel like a bum. Hey, you got some codes there? How about you throw one my way? Come on, I can be a pretty young man and give me some codes, and I'll show you something if you know what I mean. Nudge, nudge, wink,
oh
wink.
God.
But you know what I mean. So I'll get a code occasionally. Or I'll go to Keymailer. I find resources.
Yeah.
I find ways of big. But
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, it's something I try, and I'm actually fortunate because like I got I'm a content creator with Ubisoft and Deep Silver, and so they give me codes for games, and it's been really good. They've been really supportive, especially the Australian community and Ubisoft and Deep Silver. They're really good people over there, so
Yeah.
they really like helping their creators out there. So I'll go and reach out to them. Say, hey, you mind if I have a code? Sure, we'll send you a code. Make sure you copy or send us, like so they're really supportive. But like not every day you're going to get a code, so it's all good.
Sure. I think it's one of those things too that people need to understand, both from the industry side and
Mm,
I suppose, content creator side. That from the industry side, yeah, everything has a cost to it. Like sending out a
mm,
code, there's a monetary value attached to that.
mm,
But to send you a code, you really need to make content with that, which is I've seen you do when you get given
mm.
stuff.
Yeah.
You go out and you stream that sucker.
Oh yeah.
But the same's there. And the other side of things as well is like, as a content creator, you may not get every code for the latest game, or you may have
Mm,
to go and buy it yourself. You're
mm,
investing in yourself by doing that.
yeah.
But at the same time, you've got to do it for yourself,
Mm,
not like you said, like, why have you played game X, Y, Z, or
mm,
one, two,
yeah.
three, or whatever? It's like, I can't afford to do that. I'm
Mm,
playing the game that I enjoy,
mhm,
that I think my community will enjoy,
mm,
and it's right for me. So it's one of those
yeah.
things where you, as the content creator, have
Mhm,
to sort of like, I suppose, put
mm,
that line in the sand where you're not going to please everybody. And I've seen some of your
yeah.
TikToks where you've
Oh,
had some
yeah.
interesting views on some people who are like that.
Oh, yeah. I get a lot of trolls, and they're saying that, "Oh, well, okay, this will probably be our last question." Right? I
Yeah,
get a lot of trolls
sorry.
saying like, "That's okay. I could talk to you all night because 'cause it's been fun." But,
Sorry.
as we know, we met at PAX to be, like, a part of the older gamer
Panel, yeah.
panel, which was really great, and it was really nice to see all those people take an interest in older gamers. Do you feel that there's still a stigma with like the gaming industry, like being about the young people out there? Because I feel that there is in a way, especially like with promotions. Like when I approach other companies and stuff like that, I was seeing gaming peripherals. There's always a young person wearing the headphones, or and but do you feel like that there's a stigma like, oh, you're too old to play games. Why are you at this age playing games? Why do people seem to have this mentality that it's not okay to be 50 or older or 35 or 40 to play video games? Why do you think that is like?
I do think there's definitely a little bit of ageism in that sort of mentality around that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Like a lot of advertisements are they definitely do seem to be targeted at younger generations, but
yeah,
I'm not sure if you ever checked out the AGEA reports that come in every year.
no,
This year, they called out the fact there's actually more female gamers than male gamers now. I think it's like 51 to 49%, or
yeah,
52 to 50%, something like
yeah, but they're only
that.
playing Sims 4.
Mate, come on.
I'm joking. I don't worry. I had this
uh,
conversation with a lady beforehand, and yeah, it's stupid,
yeah,
but yeah, it's increasing.
but also the age demographic is, I
Yeah,
think, like the median age of gamers is like 35 to like mid 30s to early 40s is that medium age of
yeah,
gamers,
yeah.
because they're the ones who have disposable income, they have the time, have the inclination,
Mm-hmm.
have that sort of stuff.
Mm,
But yeah, it does seem like a lot of it's targeted at youth because it's that sort of thing of children,
mm,
just say children, but younger generations, either having disposable income or having access to somebody with disposable
mm.
income. So teens going to parents, hey, I want
V-Bucks.
this thing, this controller, this console, this
Yeah,
game, whatever's
yeah,
hot right now. They
yeah,
want that sort of thing.
yeah.
And sometimes it's to placate the kids, or
Mm,
sometimes the kids have earned it, whatever.
mm,
It'll be like, yep, sure, no, I'll get you that. So
mm,
there's that sort of
yeah,
financial incentive to target that as well.
mm,
But I do feel like there's a bit of a thing where it's would like I am a big fan of my setup I've got here. You can't really see it,
Mhm.
but I've got like Logitech mouse, Logitech headset. I bought these myself
Mhm.
because I love them. I find them super comfortable.
Yeah.
I've got a 8-bit Duo retro keyboard because I love the clicky, I love the mechanical sounds of it.
Yeah.
It's also good for my hands, things like that as well.
Yep.
It is that sort of thing where I feel like there is definitely a market opportunity
Mm.
to talk to the older gamers.
Hell
We're
yeah.
not really that definite. We're not the target audience. We're not the
Mm.
primary audience, I should say.
Mm.
But I do feel like we are part of the overall audience because we are the
Yeah.
ones who are passionate, have
Yep.
the cash,
Yep.
have the time, have that sort of
Yeah.
real drive to go, you know what? This weekend I'm going to sit down. I've got time clear. Either the
Mhm.
kids are old enough or left home,
Yep.
whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend an afternoon, a night, an evening, a day,
Mhm.
flashing back to my
Mhm.
20s,
Yep.
playing video games or
Yep.
jumping online with the boys or the
Yep.
girls or my
Yep.
mates or whoever,
Yeah, whoever I'm playing with.
playing
Yep.
games, having fun.
Yep.
The other thing as well, and I suppose this is
Yeah.
something I've seen you do because I've seen the video you did where it's like over 1 million or whatever it is,
Yep.
but the intergenerational gaming
Yep.
between parents and kids
Yep.
is something that is becoming more and more prevalent because
Mm.
parents want to share that experience with their kids,
Yeah.
educate them,
I
share that
loved
joy,
it.
have a
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah, I do, and
And
I
your
kind
video is
of
a great example of that.
I that video blew up for me like at 1.5 million views, and every time I see it to repost it, it always does well. And because I think
Yep.
it hits a chord with so many parents out there, like who have or even grew up with their parents, like the and also got so many DMs from people saying, "Oh, my kids just grew up and they left," And and it wasn't just with my son, like with my daughter as well. I played games with her as well, and when she went out to the city and lived in the city, would get together every now and then and play like Black Ops 3 Zombies, because like she liked that, and we got to play. I don't nearly play as much games as I wish I did now with them
Yeah.
because like they got their own lives, and it does pull at the heartstrings sometimes. But having those moments and cherishing those moments, especially when I started streaming and having hanging around with me and playing games with me, like I'll take that to my grave. It's amazing feeling. And you're right, like growing up, like we have like despite we have income, we have time, and also look behind us. Look at all the stuff that you've bought. You're passionate about this stuff. I'm passionate about like all the stuff I got here too. Um, we have money and we are relevant and we are gamers, no matter what age.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely an advocate for older gamers. Like I love being an older gamer. I think it's great, and not only that, I think not all the time. Like you know, I think there's a lot of younger people who actually look up to older gamers and really like I have young
Mm.
people jump in my games and play with me and love it. They have a real good time seeing. And some people even say, "Oh, I wish it was my dad or grandfather or great grandfather." Shut up, boy. Don't get too far. But it's fun. It's really cool to see that generational gap come together through gaming. And
100% agree on
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, I agree with that. But anyway, now you said that you're not in the whole real gaming scene. Now you're doing the private sector at the moment. You're working private sector now. So
Yeah.
is that just for peace of mind, mate? Just like the jumble, like
Look, I love gaming. I love the industry.
yeah,
I will always love it. I
yeah,
would probably like to go back to it one day.
yeah,
I need a bit of a break because I got a bit of burnout, to be honest
mm,
with you.
yeah, it
Um,
happens.
One of the things about being in Australia and being in the games industry is people I don't think really understand or give people who work in the industry enough credit for is it is some long hours and sometimes it is some weird hours.
Yeah.
So doing calls sometimes at 2 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning because
yep.
that's when the other European or US teams are online.
Mhm.
It is the sort of thing where the Australian games industry punches so far above its weight,
Mhm.
and I don't think it gets enough credit for what it does from
Yeah.
both the overseas team and
Mm.
from honestly communities and fans in Australia.
Yep.
Like, I get there is some animosity sometimes towards decisions that are made at a global level,
Mm.
but you've got to remember they're still human beings in the end.
Yep.
So, don't be
Yeah.
too harsh on them. Show them, give them a little bit of
Yeah.
leniency, show them a little bit of love, especially at a local level, because they love games as well. They wouldn't be doing
Yeah.
what they do if they didn't. And the reality is, they're working damn hard for what they're going to do. So,
Yeah.
show them a bit of love. Be
Ex
kind.
Be kind, rewind. Well, Fury, I've loved having you here, dude. I could talk to you, like, for another few hours, but we do have to wrap this up. But is there anything you want to promote or anything like that? Like, where can people reach out to you, like check you out, like on your Instagram or Twitter or anything?
Yeah,
Is there anything you want to promote at the
as you,
moment?
nothing really promote, but if you want to give me, if you feel like you want to check out some random nerdy content, Fallout related content, and soon to be some gaming history stuff, give me a follow on same thing across all my channels on YouTube,
Hmm.
Instagram, TikTok.
Hmm.
It's all Furysevensix, so FURYSEVEN. Sorry, try that again. Fury, FURYSEVENSIX. Sorry, I was reading something on the screen while I was talking to you. I should have done that. But basically, Fury76 all spelled out. So yeah, give me
I
a
will have
cheeky
all the.
follow. Like on
I
my
will have
channel.
your link. I'll have all your links
Yeah,
down the bottom of the because this will
yeah,
be on YouTube, and I'll have all your links to your
yeah.
socials on there. Okay,
Awesome.
no
And I
worries,
suppose the
mate.
other thing I want to say is the last thing I want to promote is that something I mentioned earlier is the fact that I thoroughly believe, and I think we should all believe the fact that gaming is for everybody. Doesn't matter how old you are, who you are, gender, age, sexuality, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Gaming should be for everybody. So yeah,
Mm.
have fun, enjoy games, and yeah, be kind to one another. That's
Exactly.
pretty much it.
Wise words, mate. Again, thank you so much for popping in, mate, and we'll see
Thanks
you
for
in the
having me,
next
man.
one. And anyone, please make sure you follow Fury on all those socials. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment and like and share, because there's the more likes and shares we get on this, the more interaction we get, the better we get. And I'll keep doing these podcasts if you're really enjoying this podcast with these really interesting guests that we have on here. Again, Fury, thanks, mate. You've been an absolute legend.
Thanks for having me, mate. See you next time.
No worries.